Greetings, folks, and welcome to today's show. As you no doubt are by this time possibly painfully aware, we're in the middle of a very extensive election season. We have two more coming up, the August election and the final one in November. In August, we will be, it'll be the state primary for all of the state offices. That's governor, Senate, the House, the Tennessee House, and judges, and it'll be the final vote for county and municipal positions. So, and early voting, if you keep track of it, you have until early July to register if you haven't done that yet, and we would urge you to certainly do that and turn out to vote. Early voting will be from July 13th to the 28th, and so there we go. Today we have the two Republican candidates for the House seat that has been held for many years by Judd Matheny. And those two are Rush Bricken, who's Rush has been around for quite a while, and also Ronnie Holden is challenging Rush for the Republican nomination. And then the two of them will face, one or the other of them will face Mike Winton in August. In November. So let's begin. As I say, Rush Bricken's on the outside here, Ronnie Holden next to me. Let's begin by saying, how come you're running, Rush?
First of all, Tom, I think you and I know each other from a long time back. I've been involved in government, for county government, for over 22 years as a county commissioner. In the last 10 years as chairman of the Budget and Finance Committee.
All right.
I am worked in Coffee County for over 40 years as a CPA and a banker. I'm retiring as CEO of Coffee County Bank in July. So the state legislative seat is a part-time position. So my retirement has allowed me, for the first time ever, to run for a countywide plus office, because the 47th district is all of Coffee County and half of Warren County. So it's just a continuation of my desire to serve the public, provide good government. I think my experience can allow me to do that. Okay.
Let's, before we go any further, let's take a short commercial break, folks, and we'll put that question to Ronnie.
All I have to do is think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do, you know.
Everyday miracles at Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jerry Harris. I've been providing communication services throughout the United States since 1985. But instead of me telling you about the services I provide, I'll let some of my clients speak for me.
Hi, I'm Nancy Jernigan with Coffee County Realty and Auction Company. Jerry came to see us some time back, and even though we weren't ready for our phone system, he looked at our bill and he saved us over $200 a month. When we get ready for our new phone system, I'm sure we will be calling Jerry.
Host My Calls is by far the best service I have ever placed with any of my clients. It provides cost-saving solutions while providing great communications. Call me today, 931-581-4411. See how Host My Calls can save you.
We're back, folks, and we're talking today with the two Republican candidates for the Tennessee House seat, District 47, which has been held, as you know, by Judd Matheny for quite a few years. Before the break, we asked Rush to tell us why he was running, so let's put that question to Ronnie.
Well, I ran for Congress in 2014. Did all right there, and
that's a different district.
Yes, sir, District 5. I was up against a bunch of them in Nashville. It was an experience. I learned from it, and now I'm not a politician. I'm a concerned citizen. I'm very observant of the things going on around me. I'm all over this county on a motorcycle, and in Warren County also, trying to get people's views on everything that concerns the people. I have no special interest groups, don't own no papers.
Okay. All right, very good. Well, let's talk a little bit more about your background and qualifications that you think put you in a position to do a good job in this office. And we'll come back and start with you, Ronnie.
Okay.
Your background and qualifications.
Okay.
Yeah.
My background is basically I'm a high school graduate from here in Tennessee, Tullahoma. Been here in Tennessee my entire life. I'm 58 years old. I've known a lot of people, and I like people, and I get along with people. And the people's who I want to represent, their vote, I want to be a voice for them. Like I say, I'm new at it, but doing better.
Yeah.
Nashville was quite an experience.
Making rounds on your motorcycle.
Yes, sir.
Okay, back to you, Rush. We're talking background and qualifications. You've mentioned a couple of them.
Yeah, the things, certainly I'm an Auburn graduate. I got my master's at Vanderbilt. I've been active in civic affairs. I've been a long-term Kiwanian. I'm chairman of my church administrative council. I teach a Wednesday night Bible school class. I've again been on the county commission for 22 plus years. And again as a CPA and a banker all my life. I've raised 4 of my children successfully. No, my wife has raised 4 of our children successfully. And again, I've just always looked for good government. And good government to me is good fiscal conservative government. And that's what I've always fought for in my commission duties. So I hope to do that in Nashville.
Okay. Representing the people of Coffee County and part of Warren County. Let's come back to a sort of a basic question. I guess I could put it in a pinpoint fashion. You know, you got a few words to say why you think it ought to be you, and you probably are addressing that not only to your current opponent, but maybe the next one too in August. Rush, let's stay with you a minute. Why you?
Well, I certainly believe when I get to Nashville, I can hit the ground running. I think my experience in business and in local government allows me to understand the issues that our county and Warren County needs, and I can stay focused to that. I certainly understand the negotiations that goes on in governmental bodies. And again, I'd be one of 99 state representatives. So that means you have to work with your other representatives to get anything done. And I've always been able to do that with people. I think I listen well, but I stay focused to the issues that I believe in, and I think that's what Nashville needs.
Okay. Have you been particularly pleased or displeased or with anything in particular in the state government in recent years?
Well, Tennessee, I think, is a wonderful state. They have kept their fiscal house in order. It's a $37 billion state budget.
Enterprise. Yeah.
Enterprise. So what? And in the last, they certainly have maintained not only a good budget, but a budget surplus. And again, that surplus is your money, our money, and that money needs to have a good steward. I certainly will fight to any of those resources to get back to our county for education, roads, public safety. So I'm real pleased with the current fiscal operation of the state, and I certainly want to be sure that's maintained. So as far as things disappointing, there's not anything you can say. That the opioid crisis certainly is an issue. Public safety in certainly Coffee County, overcrowded. When I say not too much law enforcement, because that's a double-edged sword, but I do think we have to be careful in the non-criminal violent offenders, incarcerating them and not having a pathway for those folks to not only stay unincarcerated, but if they are, get them out quick and get them back into the as a useful citizen. So
that has been an issue that seems to be growing because we're spending a lot of money on folks in prison. That's a very expensive operation. Okay, so Ronnie, let's try on you.
Okay.
Why do you think it ought to be you, and also whether you're particularly pleased or displeased with something that's been going on in Nashville?
Well, ever since President Trump come in, I've been very pleased. I don't really have no complaints about anything here in Tennessee too much. I like the people. I like meeting people and talking to them, finding different views from all these people. Like I say, I've been down every road you can imagine on a motorcycle, just looking at different situations that could affect us around here in different ways. We got Manchester, the center of the road's been tore out up there for I don't know how long. That's something that needs to be addressed immediately. You go up through there, and I mean, if you're on a motorcycle, it's doing that with you. Cars drifting back and forth. It's just a mess.
We do have a few infrastructure problems, don't we? That we really and truly have not been addressing, and that's one of these days we're going to be sorry. So, well, with that, folks, let's take a short commercial break, and we'll come back and go some more.
Russell Barnett Hometown Auto Rental has proudly served your auto rental for over 30 years. Check out this huge selection to choose from. Small car, mid-size car, full-size car, crossover vehicle, SUV, minivan, pickup trucks, 12 and 15 passenger vans. Whether big or small, Russell Barnett Hometown Auto Rental has them all. Stop by our 2 locations to serve you, Tullahoma and in Winchester. And remember, my question is, why rent anywhere else?
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
We're back, folks, and we're talking today with the two Republican candidates for the 47th Tennessee House District seat, the one held by Judd Matheny for many years. And our two candidates here are Rush Bricken and Ronnie Holden. One of them wants to be the Republican candidate that will be facing off against the Democrat in November. So you will be selecting one of them in the August election, along with a lot of other folks. All the county and municipal final results will be in August, and the primaries of the other state offices. So we've been trying to get acquainted with these two gentlemen, and let's find out what they feel about a couple of the hot issues that have been roaming around for the last few years. And we might as well start with one of the more popular ones, gun control. Ronnie?
I'm pro Second Amendment, as you can find. My family shoots. We have good times. I hunt. The dreaded rifles they raise so much cane over is the AR-15. It's basically a souped up 22, pretty much. A longer bullet than that. It gets a bad name.
That's rapid fire gun.
It's just semi-automatic, no different than any other gun out there. Your police chief and the police here, I would say, carrying 40 cals with probably 16 or 17 round mags. I oppose any new gun laws. There's over 20,000 gun laws on the books. If they can't find
20,000 in Tennessee?
Probably, what I read off a Google search. But that's...
You're opposed to any additional
I'm
control?
opposed to any additional. We've got enough, and the people that are screaming at the NRA doing this, doing that, the NRA trains teachers, they train police officers, they train in all sorts of shooting situations, and they're a good cause, and they get blamed for everything that they've never... The only organization I know of that gets accused of something and has never been charged with anything.
Yeah. Okay. No more gun control. Well, that's a pretty clear position for you folks. Rush, where are you?
I am certainly a 100% Second Amendment supporter. Again, law-abiding citizens certainly have the right to bear arms. That's very evident. It's certainly how we get the guns away from criminals and keep them out is the issue that our state and nation faces. Certainly, the laws have to be enforced, and protection of the law-abiding citizens against the criminals with guns is what we all want. It also kind of, gun safety has certainly been involved in school safety, and school safety is a concern for all of us. I certainly had children and their grandchildren, and the protocol for every school, to work with local law enforcement to protect, provide good gatekeepers, whether it's SROs or whatever the nature is. But my concern is, once, I think school safety will be enhanced, but what I call the nutcases out there that get access to guns will find other easy targets. So I don't know how the only way I know is that our being vigilant about recognizing what I call mentally ill criminal citizens and getting them off the street, getting guns out of their hands, and working that through is what we have to do. Again, guns themselves are not the problem.
No, they're not.
It's certainly putting the right discipline and mental safety issues in place.
Yeah.
To prevent.
Well, the basic question of background checks. You know, again, trying to find, which would help you, I guess, find criminals and also those that might have some mental problems. It is strange, you know, in a way that in so many of the school shooting cases we've had, there have been some clues out there about the shooters that in many cases were recognized, but nothing really was done about it. I guess keeping them out of schools to start with is a major issue. So background checks. How about age limits? That's been a kind of a hot issue. Whether we ought to make you be an adult before you can buy a gun.
There's no way that I can see a soldier go over to Iraq and make it back home, and he can't go buy a gun to defend his home with.
Yeah.
I got a problem with that.
So if you're 18, you can have a military weapon. Yeah. If you join the military.
You got to be in the military to get military. Yeah. I'd like to see gun safety taught in schools. Have a sheriff. When I was in school, a police officer used to come around about once a month.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a positive thing, and let them actually see a video of somebody been shot, and let them see what you point that gun at something, you better mean it to destroy it. And I'd like to see a lot done with that. I think Sheriff's Department would be helpful, and I imagine the city of Tullahoma possibly would be. I would hope so.
What do you think about arming teachers?
Love it. Put a sign out front, says, "Our teachers' arms. You figure out which ones."
You got a thought about that, Rush? Teachers' arm?
If they qualify, I have no trouble with a teacher being armed and in the classroom. It's again that they have the properly trained. That is the right of protecting themselves and their students, and if they choose to do so, I'm fine with that. So.
Okay.
Now, getting back to the education thing, I still remember one of my driver's training classes, and there were some gruesome car wrecks that still resonate to me today when I saw them when I was 16 or 17. And it has made me, I think, a better driver. And I agree with Ronnie. I think if young people and even adults saw the gruesomeness and the horror of what gun violence can do, maybe it's just one piece of it. Maybe it would hold some people back and prevent some of this, but it's just an idea. I don't know.
The hunter safety class that they used to teach, the very first thing they showed was a man was in a brush pile with a shotgun hunting turkey. Well, he had a red bandana on, and he gobbled, and the kid said, boom!
Sounds like Sergeant York.
He shot him with I don't know, it was probably a 12 gauge or something like that. And I mean, all the kids just gasped in there when they seen what you could actually do with that.
Yeah.
And it was
so
interesting.
Basically, it sounds like both of you are agreeing that teaching gun safety in school would be a good idea.
I think we're all.
Okay, well, guess what, folks? We have run out of time. We're going to have to take a short commercial break and wrap up.
Russell's got your truck, man. Russell's got your truck.
Big, bigger, and even bigger. Russell Barnett has any size truck for any size need. Chevrolet, Ford, GMC, Ram. Check us out on the web at russellbarnett.com. Our selection is so huge, we may need our own zip code. So my question is, why buy your next truck anywhere else?
With the best selection anywhere, Russell's got your truck, man.
The day the Lord created hope could be the same day He created spring.
Springtime's here. It's a good time to get our air conditioners checked out before those hot summer days get here. We've been here for a little over 35 years. It's been our pleasure to serve our community. We'd like to thank you for Tullahoma's finest, and from all of us to all of you.
Thank you.
Time for it. Greetings, folks, and we're back. We have been talking today with the two Republican candidates for the 47th Tennessee District to the House of Representatives in Tennessee, the seat that's been held by Judd Matheny for a number of years. These two gentlemen, Roddy Holden and Rush Bricking, are both seeking your vote in August to decide who will run for that seat representing the Republican Party. And we have talked about a number of key issues which they have shared their views with you, and I hope that's going to be very helpful. So I want to thank you two gentlemen for taking time to be with us, and we will look forward to seeing how this situation turns out. Thank you, folks, for inviting us into your parlor, and we will see you next time.